Hi everyone. I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my story today and just growth I've seen in my own life. So, just to begin, if you were to ask me to describe my current life in one word, I would pick the word joy, but I wouldn't exactly say that my life has always been that way. I definitely dealt with a lot of bitterness in my life, and I constantly tried to find happiness in achievements and just trying to meet other people's views and expectations that they had of me. But I feel like probably a lot of you can relate that just doing that kind of stuff, it just always leaves you feeling empty overall. But I feel as if my life has really changed going into my freshman year of college. I definitely went into college carrying a lot of that with me, but I made a lot of friends my freshman year that showed me a lot of love and a lot of grace, despite just what I was going through. They were really patient, they prayed for me, and they just showed me how much they truly cared for me. It's really surprising. This is just like coming from people that I literally just met. And I just really, to this day, believe that their actions were just such a great reflection of just God's love and just the love He has for all of us. So it's through these friends that really explained the gospel to me for the first time. They told me their own stories and hardships, and they just basically explained to me that God loves us all deeply and He has such a unique plan for everyone. But because we are all sinful, we are just greatly separated from Him. They told me that God's love for us is so great that although we are continually rebelling against Him, He loves us anyway. And He shows us that through the act of sending His Son to die on the cross. In Romans 5:8, it says that God demonstrates His own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. It's kind of just shown throughout the Bible again and again that we're just really sinful, broken people, and we ultimately deserve death because of that. We are the ones who are supposed to pay the price for our own wrongdoings, but instead God sent Jesus, who never sinned, to die in our place, and this was just done through His own care and love for us as individuals. It's also really important to note that Jesus is what Jesus is what bridges the separation from us and God. Through Him, we are able to have a relationship with God, but to enter this relationship with Him, we have to accept Him into our hearts, and then after that, we're able to experience God's love and plan. So, after being exposed to the gospel for the first time, it really took me just a few months to really accept it as the truth. I remember eventually just sitting down, praying, and accepting Christ into my life. This was a couple years ago now, but I don't really remember a lot of details from that day, but I do remember how I felt in those moments. For the first time, I genuinely felt a sense of peace. And though I will say my life has really been far from perfect from that day, I will say that I've seen Christ transform me in a lot of ways since coming to know Him. I'll definitely always be a flawed, sinful human, but I find a lot of joy knowing that with each passing day, I am beginning to become more and more like Him.